Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Journey into Comics with your hosts, Nate Phillips and Brandon Stone.
I'm a god, you dull creature.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very different, very raw episode 11 of Journey into Comics, live from Studio B with my co-host,
Brando, and Studio B is my fucking game room.
Awesome.
So we are both here at the same time?
It's so fucking great to be here. We have got a special guest on the show with us today. I'll let you do the introductions.
It's my good buddy Rob.
How's it going?
Hey, Rob.
Yeah. Okay, so if the episode sounds a little different, we're just using one microphone and sitting around it kind of like a bunch of Indians that have in front of a fucking campfire.
Racist.
Hey, now, I'm not racist. It's what they do. They sit around and they smoke a peace pipe.
I'm an Indian, 1/8 Indian, and you're racializing me.
Well, you know what?
Don't call me a goddamn red skin.
Look, I am some decimal point Indian.
Okay.
I'm not sure what, but, you know, the fact is, this may sound a little different. It's not going to be as top quality. Hopefully it's not going to sound too bad. Hopefully we're not clipping too bad on the recorder thing. But, you know, just bear with us, because this is going to be a neat episode, because we're loosened up. We're here, like, just in person in the raw, so it'd be kind of neat.
Yeah, we're definitely hanging out today. So let's just start right off the fucking top. We're talking comics and a whole other shitload of cool things. Brando, I know we talked about this, but Ant-Man started filming.
Yeah.
Like, Ant-Man starts filming several days ago. I almost belched. Whatever. That
Hey, it's
matter.
the beer.
Yeah, okay, so Ant-Man started filming a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
They have like 10, 15 different pictures from the set, official pictures that Marvel has released of Paul Rudd in his Scott Lang attire.
Yeah, hype train. They're trying to get the hype train going.
They don't need to. They've already successfully hyped the movie.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is while they're successfully hyping a movie that I'm excited for, Fox is fucking up a movie I was already terrified to even think about seeing in the Fantastic Four. They wrapped up production. We still do not have a single image from the set. Not one singular image at all.
I haven't heard much news about this movie at all.
Well, they got a black guy playing Human Torch. Don't care what his skin color is. Doesn't matter. They got a bunch of young kids doing a Fantastic Four story.
That's all I know about it, though, is was that whole casting drama.
Yeah.
That's all I know about it.
And that's been the biggest hype for a movie that is trying to reboot a series. You try to reboot a series and you aren't giving anything, not even an inch, you're ruining it for the fans. I mean, 2 years out, 2 years from Batman vs. Superman, and we have so much that we're just salivating over.
Like, they're just doing a little bit each at a time. You know, the suit, the little teaser thing.
They showed the Batmobile.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, on the Batmobile looks cool.
It's all right. So Marvel is in. There you go. There's that beer. But Marvel is in full control of Ant-Man, right?
100%.
100%. And so you have Fantastic Four with Fox, then you've got Spider-Man with Sony, and then Fox also has. Do they have X-Men as well?
Fox has X-Men. It's weird because when the split happened in the 90s and Marvel was selling off all their property rights because they were losing money, the 90s they made foolish decisions. Instead of minimalizing their production run on their comics, they were literally putting so many out that even if you were to find a quote-unquote rare comic from the late 90s or the mid-90s, it's not valuable.
Yeah.
I mean, the first appearance of Bishop was the early 90s, and it's a $5 comic. And Bishop is considered one of the better X-Men characters from the future sent to the past, the whole 9 yards. So, for me, Marvel sells their properties, but there were some mix-ups. The Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch saga, they're going to be in 2 separate movies. They were in 2 separate movies. Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver appear in Days of Future Past. They are appearing as a tandem in the Avengers. They appeared in the Avengers first and then moved to the X-Men. Their father is Magneto.
Mm-hmm.
They will never be called mutants in the Avengers movie. They will be called miracles. And the fact that Magneto is their father cannot be brought up. So that's a part of this crazy split that happened because Marvel was losing its ass.
Mm-hmm.
So I still think bad decision making led to this, and a lot of people are sitting back going, at some point the rights will be up, and they'll get the rights back to Fantastic Four. They'll get the rights back to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They got the rights back to Ghost Rider and Daredevil. They're doing the Daredevil
Netflix series.
Thank you. And they're also doing like a Luke Cage Netflix series.
Yeah.
Fucking cool. You know, Iron Fist is getting his own Netflix series. You know, so I'm really excited. Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I wasn't worried about Iron Fist.
That the computer just went black. I don't know if that's going to affect recording.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we're still going.
Okay,
It's just the
that's good.
screen goes dark.
Okay.
I can probably set that to not do that to make you not freak out.
Okay.
But
it doesn't matter. I told you, we're fucking live. And
Yeah,
we're
dude,
very
yeah.
raw right now.
And we're trying not to talk over each other so much. Usually, when we always do this via Skype because we live so many miles away from each other, and not impossible. As you can see, we made the trip today. Nate did to come down here, but it's more convenient for our schedules to just do it over Skype.
Do you know why I made the trip today?
Oh, gee, I don't know.
Because Stone Cold E.T. wanted a damn cheeseburger. No, really. Actually, today was a really kick-ass day. Let me tell you, podcast listeners, I got up early, an hour earlier than, because Brandon and I are on different time zones, and made the trip down, so Rob, Brando, and myself could all go video game hunting, and I could see him in his element looking and collecting the things he likes. And first of all, let me say thank you for letting me be a part of that, because it was a fucking awesome experience.
Dude, no problem. I mean, it was fun to have you. Rob asked me a couple weeks ago. It was like a few days after I went game hunting, and he asked me, "Are you going next week?" I'm like, "Dude, I just spent my entire allowance just in that 1 week because I do it by check. I get paid bi-weekly, and or like every other week. I think it's still bi-weekly, whatever."
Yeah, that's fine. Bisexual, bi-weekly, it's all
beer burp and
beer.
Yeah, so he asked me, and I was trying to find a time to go, and we were sort of talking about Labor Day. And on the last podcast, I kind of wanted to save it for a sort of a surprise because there's going to be stuff to work out. We weren't sure if it was going to happen. But you said something about coming down and doing something over Labor Day weekend. And so, we were already planning it. Yeah, so it just worked out. And then the idea of possibly recording here and having it be here on the computer and of similar quality.
Live from Studio B.
Dude, yeah, and even if it's not exactly what we put out, it's hopefully going to be good enough, and I better be because I paid out the ass for this fucking microphone.
Yeah.
So
I've been given the push and the initiative. I was told by my significant other that we should try to make this a monthly thing, if possible.
Yeah.
One of us traveling which way or the other, however the work schedules will allow it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, if I didn't have tomorrow off, I would not be here tonight.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So we'll have to kind of plan and finagle things, but things can work, obviously.
Yeah. Anyway, Rob's been conspicuous by his absence so far because he has been long nicknamed Silent Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't say much. So Rob, what were you? You asked me if we wanted to go game hunting soon, and what inspired you to sort of get back into it? Was it? I mean, because when I first started getting into it, and I had everything in boxes. It's like you're like, okay, yeah, that's cool, and I swear, and I'm not trying to insinuate or but I swear when you saw the game room and everything set up, your eyes went, whoa, this is cool. Did that have anything to do with it, or was it just something that you've been wanting to do and then just decided to do?
It's a lot of it is like trying to find games that I played, just kind of a nostalgia thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. It's just. I kind of wanted to play some of those old games again, and yeah, I mean, you putting everything together kind of inspired that, I guess.
Well, yeah, I mean, because I remember, I've been talking about it, putting together my game room for months. We needed time to do it, and we really pushed ourselves over my shutdown from work. Well, ours, we both work in the same place,
yeah.
But to really get this done and get a room that is my space, not throwing back to 07 here.
No old social media.
Yeah, no. But just my personal space with posters from my youth. It is nostalgia city in here with references to all sorts of stuff. And I'll do a video game tour for our YouTube, that's a conversation that we're probably going to talk about here soon. But yeah, when I got this stuff set up and I invited you guys to come down because I wanted you to see it, and it was still pretty bare bones. I didn't have a lot of posters up. It was just I got the TV, and I think when you first came over, I had the smaller TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, did we play GoldenEye on that thing?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, it was horrible. And then we
hard to do, I bet.
well, because the TV was really small, and I think it was my wife's old TV, and because the TV that I had purchased, the image stretched too far, and I couldn't see everything. And on gaming, you want to see everything, and I was able to get a better one, but and then I just you seemed really excited to want to play some of these old games, and then all of a sudden I hear you're buying this N64, and then you're getting all these cartridge stuff. And I'm like, is he trying to play catch up?
No, it was just kind of certain games that I want.
Right.
Nowhere near as many as you, so.
We'll see.
And everybody collects differently.
Of course,
and
yeah.
I think as an adult male, I mean, we're not the dudes out there collecting guns.
Right.
We're not the dudes out there that.
Well, it's
Yeah,
sort of.
I do.
Really?
Guns.
Well, that's kind of cool.
So.
But no, but you know, like I'm not. What am I trying to say here? We aren't like adults collecting things only for adults. The idea of, and I mean, being a gamer myself, my love for grabbing my Super Nintendo, hooking it up to my television I have now, which my 42-inch flat screen, plugging in a Super Mario World, Super Mario Kart, and just going to town on anything like that is such a, even if it's so modernized with modern technology, the feel is so kick-ass. Just to sit back and play this old game I remember from a kid in my grandmother's spare bedroom when I lived with her, you know, just plugging away at Mario Kart or plugging away at Super Mario World, or if I download an emulator and I play a game like 10 Star, which no one's ever fucking heard of apparently, but I loved that game. Just saying. You know, it's one of those things, you know, for me, comics was where it was at. I had done a little bit of action figure collecting and statue collecting, and that was okay for me.
And you actually sort of had a decent collection of, like, more for the time, because a few years have gone by, but you had, like, a lot of, like, 360 and Wii collection.
I still do. I mean, I've mostly kept up that collection with bigger, nicer titles. There was a point where, I mean, I've got, I want to say, like, 150 Xbox 360 games.
Wow.
I mean, the collection's stupid big, because when I worked at GameStop, people would be trading in, selling stuff, getting rid of things. Maybe they don't get the value they want, and I know this was not what I was supposed to do at that job, but if I could give them $3 or $4 more and make them happy, and it comes out of my back pocket and I get that game, you better believe I'm jumping on it. And I got, like, Ninja Gaiden Sigma, the collector's edition, $15 from a dude. Played it once.
You actually got, like, a lot of collector's edition stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's something that maybe we can tour in and of itself. But my collector's edition collection is quite impressive. Every Assassin's Creed, I have the collector's edition except for Black Flag, because I don't have a next-gen system yet.
But did they come out with a special edition?
1, 2, 3, Revelations, and Brotherhood, all 5.
Okay, so, but did they come out with a special edition for Black Flag on PS3 or 360 or anything like that?
I don't know. I didn't even know if it came out on 360.
It did.
And PS.
It came out for pretty much every system available, even the Wii U.
Huh.
So, it just, you know, I actually picked it up at launch for PS4 because it was, Watch Dogs got delayed like half a year or whatever.
Yeah. So,
and I didn't really feel like getting a shooter or racer or anything like that, any of the other games that were out for it. But I'm kind of, when we were out game hunting today, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that, I was actually kind of surprised you're sort of out of the loop a little bit.
Really, quite out of the loop. I am so far behind because the next gen comes out, and I'm not really one of the kind of people that likes to not get a system at launch. I've always had the preference to get it as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Which is kind of everybody's preference, get it ASAP. But as you guys know, for a while, getting a PS4 was damn near impossible. They would be in for a couple days, they'd be gone. They'd be in for an hour, they're gone.
Yeah.
You know, it was almost like the Wii all over again.
Almost, but not as quite as bad.
Because Sony picked up production, and now you can find a PS4 wherever you want.
Yeah, I actually got mine at launch. I think.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you stood in line. Best Buy.
Yeah, I did. I think I was like, I was the first in the building.
Fuck yeah.
But In fact, it actually amazed me. I'm not trying to get too off topic here, but I left work a half day early, in which I got scrutinized for.
It happens.
But whatever. And then we went to Best Buy. There's a long line. Excuse me, more beer burps. You know, drinking a beer to loosen up for a podcast is good until you start getting burps.
Or have to piss like this guy does.
Oh, you have to?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
Can you guys hold this down while I step out?
Let me finish this real quick.
Sure.
Because I went to Best Buy and started standing in line because we were like, I've never actually been to a midnight launch for anything before. Yeah, you know,
I've worked them.
I'm sure with what you did. Rob, have you ever done a midnight launch for anything?
No.
No? Because a lot of people like to get the systems or get games right when they come out. And I do too. But I've never been one to want to go stand in line. But I felt something special with the PS4 simply because of, one, how much the Xbox One sort of like stumbled like their way out of the gate, especially when they first were like announcing all these details. And the PS4 pretty much laid the Macho Man elbow drop on everything. And it did have a lot of hype behind it, of course. But I was excited to get one, and I'm like, you know what? For the first time, I'm going to go to a launch. I want to see how crazy it is. And it was like people sipping coffee. It wasn't crazy at all. And then they said, hey, anybody who has a pre-order, you guys can go line up over here. I was the only son of a bitch with the pre-order. Everyone else went, boo. I'm like, dude, I showed up here the Saturday after E3 and said, I want to pre-order this son of a bitch. And it's not like they were like that sold out. The people who pre-ordered, there was like maybe 10 of us. And the rest of them all lined up to try and get their hands on one. I was like the 7th system pre-order for the store. And it was not crazy at all. I mean, for Best Buy, I imagine maybe GameStop was a little bit more crazy. I heard that Target that opened up 8 o'clock in the morning had a really long line, and they had buy two get one free games going on.
Wow.
So a couple friends of mine actually went and they picked up a couple games because, as I said, I only got Black Flag with it. But the launch for that, it was very laid back. It was kind of boring.
Yeah, launches for anything, gaming or otherwise, I've been a part of that phenomenon, working on the other side, like I said, and then being a customer.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I can tell you is, from an employee standpoint, you dread the launch. No matter what. You don't, because first of all, you do not know the number of people that are coming. And the number of people coming determines how late you're going to be there after you've already worked a full fucking day.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be there any fucking longer than you have to. And so I worked the Halo 3 launch. Little mini story that'll all tie in nicely. I worked the Halo 3 launch, which is the game I'm excited for. So I'm not only a customer, I'm also an employee. I worked the launch, went home, played the game for about a half hour, went to bed, woke up at 6 the next morning to go to work at 7 because we were opening the store early for the official launch of Halo 3. So I got double fucked.
Oh, man.
Sucked. All the while, I'm not getting to enjoy the game as a customer, okay? On the flip side, I went to the Halo Reach launch up here in or up where I live in Maryville, and as just a customer, and it was a different experience. You walk up, you pay for your pre-order before midnight.
Mm-hmm.
They give you a slip. You have a number. When they call your number, you walk up, you hand them your receipt. They already know what you're supposed to have. They give you, if it's a strategy guide, collector's edition, whatever, they bundle it together. Here you go. You walk out the door and you're fucking done. No mess, no fuss. It's quick. Super quick. Unless there's a super long line. And that's when shit gets crazy because people are impatient. Everyone is impatient at launch. And if everybody just take a deep breath and go, I will get through this line. It's not the end of the earth. Armageddon is not happening tonight.
Yeah.
Everything will be fine. And you have assholes who are pushy and shitty. And well, I didn't fucking order that edition. I wanted the collector's edition. Well, we only had enough pre-orders for the collector's edition, and then we shut the collector's edition pre-orders off. We're going by what you told us to pre-order. The difference is, you go into GameStop, you put $5 down, you're going to get the regular edition.
Mm-hmm.
If there's an exclusive collector's edition, whatever, a lot of times it's a $25 minimum to put it down. That way they know when you are buying, right off the bat, you're getting one or the other. A lot of people, what they do is they think they pre-order the collector's edition. They only pre-order the regular edition because they didn't know there was a collector's edition coming out, and they never go and switch it.
Right.
And they fuck themselves.
Yeah, I've only pre-ordered 2 games ever. Oh, 3, because I just announced, I think last podcast, that I pre-ordered WWE 2K15 on Amazon because I wanted the Hulk Hogan edition. because I'm not buying any other game. Maybe Dragon Age. I'll see.
And I don't like John Cena on the cover.
I'm hoping they have another cover like what they
did
did last year, where they have The Rock, the main cover, and then
Brian.
Well, that was a user created one. They actually had a contest to see whatever user created one won the vote or whatever, and that one won. So yeah, I'm hoping they have something like that again this year. But I actually pre-ordered Mass Effect 2, was my very first one, and then I pre-ordered Mass Effect 3. That's it. And then so I've heard stories. I had no problems with those pre-orders. I went in, I pre-ordered, I paid it off, went in and picked it up. No hassle, none. I said, I'm here to pick up a pre-order. Here's my receipt. Okay, here's your game. Goodbye. And one of the very few times that I was not bugged to get a subscription to a magazine, put on a pre-order or something else, because every time I go into GameStop, that's their job. They're supposed to sell you stuff, and I get that. It's annoying, but I get it. But there's also some stories I heard a couple of years ago from the Ocarina of Time 3D launch for the 3DS. If you pre-order the game, then you got a poster, but you didn't get the poster till the game launched. Some stores were only sent like 5 posters. So everybody who pre-ordered who told, "Hey, you're getting a poster," didn't get a poster.
That happens. That's a what do we call those promos? Promos were always fucked. And a lot of the times, what people don't know, this little behind-the-scenes info on your GameStop employees, if you find out, let's say today, September 1st, you hear that Batman Arkham Knight is going to have an exclusive pre-order bonus, and you can go to the store and get that pre-order bonus, do not fucking hesitate, because what happens is employees will take whatever they want first. They will get the pre-order bonus, even if they don't pre-order the game, and then whatever's left goes to the customers, and if they run out, they run out. So be it. That's just how it works.
Wow.
So that's how I got some real... I mean, I hate to say I was a part of that environment, but I got some really cool shit. Like, for instance, Crisis Core had the PSP game case that was Crisis Core exclusive. I have like 10 of those. Now,
was that Mass Effect art book that you gave me a part of that?
I do believe.
Yeah. So I'm a part of the problem.
Kind of.
I'm part of the problem. I was given it. Okay, Rob, did you ever pre-order a game?
Yeah, I pre-ordered quite a few games. Just depends on what you're supposed to get with them.
Okay, like a lot of the pre-order incentives or anything, like the poster, like I said.
Posters,
statue or something like that.
In-game content.
Mm-hmm.
My most recent one is the Lego Batman 3.
Oh, really? Yeah, they.
Because you get the Plastic Man Lego minifig.
Oh.
And since I collect Lego.
Of course, yeah, that's a good segue to kind of go into that because you actually, you started collecting Lego. What was it, this year or last year?
It was last year, about June of last year. So
okay, so did you actually have a lot of Legos when you were a kid?
Not really.
Yeah.
My parents they're too expensive.
Well, yeah, I didn't have too much when I was growing up. I got them as every once in a while, I would get a gift from somebody, like a check as a birthday gift, and every once in a while I would get Legos. And I never really got into them that much because I would build it and then I would destroy it.
Yeah.
But just for conversational purposes here, how did you actually get into collecting Lego?
Well, my wife is a fan.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted an Iron Man minifig. She went to a Lego convention with her dad, and she came back with a full Iron Man set.
Oh wow!
I think it was Cosmic Cube,
mm-hmm.
and Loki, and Hawkeye, and I put it together, and I just kind of, I don't know, I got addicted to building again.
Yeah.
And so I went and bought a few more sets, put them together, and it just got out of hand from there.
Right.
But,
I saw some of the stuff you bought for a shutdown for your projects. Yeah.
Oh yeah, nice Star Wars sets and the Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm.
Ecto one.
So you mentioned that her and her dad actually go to the conventions, and so is that something that you want to do too, and kind of share with her? Or?
Yeah. I mean, she showed me pictures and stuff of what people make.
Yeah.
I think it would be really neat to see those in person.
Yeah.
Because I'm not the most creative person. So it's hard for me to just build something without instructions.
Okay.
And but I want to try.
Right.
Because the next year is the theme is Back to the Future.
Oh, okay.
And I think it would be really awesome to build a Back to the Future set.
Yeah. Like maybe like the town square or something like that.
Yeah, I actually have some ideas, but
So
I think I know what you're talking about, and I'm gonna guess it's Legos.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah.
Fucking awesome.
we sort of like segued into that, but yeah, I mean it's really neat because that sort of hit me with a curveball when you first told me about like it wasn't so much that okay you bought some Legos, it was how much you were getting into it, and then how much you were telling me, man, I need to stop. Because I think we can all kind of attest. You know you're hooked when you go, man, I'm spending a lot of money on that.
yeah.
And you're like, okay, it's okay that I'm spending a lot of money on this because I enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, at a point, it also has to be. It has to go into your financials. It has to be, budget worthy. It's not like you can just go be completely irresponsible. Because I definitely feel that way, and we, with different levels of just collecting habits and being responsible about it. Because some people they are not so responsible about it, but when you're going as far as like different varying levels of like pricing, because like all of us collect sort of different things. Of course, we all overlap in some ways, and that's kind of a cool little like neat little thing. But we all also know where our priorities are.
I'm not going and spending $250 on video games, and you aren't buying $200 worth of comics. I mean,
I'm like, okay, dude. To be fair, I only spent $180 something today.
oh,
Me
I
too.
just threw out a guesstimation. I didn't even know.
Yeah, no, I really wanted to get Rob on to sometime to just talk about Lego a little bit because I got to go over to his house and just he's getting to a point where he has to have a housing for it, and
Yeah, I mean, I had stuff set up for a little while.
yeah, like
and-
the haunted house, really, yeah.
And as I buy more stuff, like bigger sets, I need to kind of move those elsewhere, which I don't have the room, so I kind of have to tear them down.
Oh, that's the worst. Because if you tear them down and you don't put them back in whatever bag or placement, then rebuilding them can kind of become a problem, I would guess.
Well, I have everything sorted out.
Oh.
By piece. And I was actually helping him do that one night. I went, and it kind of hit me because he was telling me how much he's buying this Star Wars set. He bought the crawler. Did you buy the Falcon?
Yeah.
He bought the Falcon. He bought the Ecto 1. He bought the Back to the Future. The DeLorean. He's buying all this stuff, and I'm like, all right, yeah. And then I get to see him separating all this stuff, and he's got like those little plastic container things you find at the store every year around college time. And like the little plastic closets, whatever. And he's looking for little jewelry baggies to put these little pieces in. That's when it hit me about, dude, he's in deep.
It's good though. I mean, it's a good hobby to have. I love Legos. I've always loved Legos. Did you get the Jabba's Palace, the two-part thing, and then they discontinued it because it looked like some monument over in the Middle East?
Oh,
Did you
really?
hear about that?
I want to say I remember that little
I
controversy.
didn't actually hear about that.
Yeah, they discontinued it because it was shaped similar to some monument or building over in the Middle East or over, somewhere not America. So they had to pull them off shelves, and I wanted one so badly, and it wasn't budgetable because it was still like $150 or whatever.
Right.
And now it's probably like $500-$600 to get it unopened in box.
Yeah, I go on a website to kind of look for deals. It's called toysandbricks.com, just in case anybody is wondering. And there was a sale on the Jabba's sail barge. And I'm like, alright, that'd be kind of cool too. And I looked at it, and I was just reading comments on Amazon, and somebody was complaining about how it didn't look as good as one that came out in 2006, I think it was. And I was like, can it really be that different? And I went and looked at it, and it was just night and day. It was
Worlds apart.
yeah,
That's like the Death Star 2. That's not 100% complete.
yeah,
Looks badass. And then they did that open shell one where you can see in all the little compartments of the Death Star. I don't like that one. I would rather it look like the outside of
Yes.
the Death Star
Yes.
looks.
I mean,
Hang that shit from my ceiling.
yeah, because I mean, that was like one of the first things I thought about buying was the Death Star, and this before I really got informed about all this. So I went and looked it up, and yeah, there was no outside shell, and I'm like, well, that's not really the Death Star to me, so I'm not gonna buy that.
So, is there anything that you got your eye on? Like, because you mentioned that you pre-ordered Lego Batman 3 on the incentive that you're actually going to get like the little minifig with it. Is there any sets coming out that are like kind of like on your radar?
There is a Green Lantern set that's coming out in January, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like Gorilla Grodd. Pretty much any like comic book based set.
Now, okay, are there any ones that you would like to see? Like, because as I mentioned, you also had the the Ecto 1 from Ghostbusters. You had like the Back to the Future. Is there any other like sort of like movie or television series or whatever? Was there anything like that besides comics that you would like to see them do?
Not that I can think of right now, because it's just the comic, like it's mostly minifigs that I'm like really collecting.
Okay, yeah.
But there's still sets that I look at and I'm like, that looks like it'd be fun to build.
Yeah.
So that's mostly what I'm looking for.
Now, I just remember this because it was actually around the time, it was the day that I recorded the first podcast with you. It was the day I got Mario Kart 8. And we went to the opening of a Meijer. And Rob and his wife went with us because they were giving away gift cards. And there was a chance to win a certain amount of money or whatever.
Yeah,
and
we heard different things. So.
Yeah, and then you went to go primarily to look at whatever sets they had. And didn't your wife buy like this little camper set?
Yes.
And it kind of reminded us of Breaking Bad. Like, it wasn't Breaking Bad, but it made us think Breaking Bad.
No, that was one of the things that was up on that. Yeah, I'm sure you know the site that people put up designed ideas of Lego sets. Have you ever seen this before? Like, that's where The Simpsons ended up being born from. They were trying to get a Shaun of the Dead one, which was fucking awesome. The Winchester and all the little minifigs, fucking awesome. But someone has done a Breaking Bad one that looks bad as fuck.
I think you're talking about, I think it used to be called Cuso.
Yep.
And now it's called Lego Idea, I believe.
Absolutely.
Cool.
This guy, no way.
So now that we've kind of gone on for almost a half hour, and the whole reason why we're all here together is because Nate came down to go game hunting. So I figured maybe now would be a good time to kind of jump into that. Rob asked me if I wanted to go game hunting, and we kind of set aside a date. So we went to, what was it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places today?
Maybe 7 or 8. Because if you count everything, we went to 2 Goodwills? 1 Goodwill.
We only went to one. There was another one on the radar, but we didn't go.
Went to CD Land. Did you count that one? Even though no one bought anything.
Yeah, because we were sort of out of money at that point. But, okay, yeah. So we went to a lot of the areas around the Lafayette area. And, kind of like my stomping grounds where I like to go collect. And since Rob is starting to get into that, he wanted to know where the other stores were. So, I said, hey, I'll take you around, show you my rounds that I make every now and again. I don't hit every store every week, by the way, guys. I'm not that crazy. But, Nate came down, and we just kind of hung out. And, we kind of filmed footage for it. It's going to be up on our YouTube. And,
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
On our YouTube,
so, like, to kind of get into it a little bit, there's certain things I'm looking for. I got another beer burp coming, too.
It happens.
It wasn't that bad. I've actually bought something every place we went, and Rob did not.
No.
Now, I understand. I'm going for a more variety of a collection. I'm collecting for a multitude of different systems, and my focus, even though I told myself I was going to focus on the Super Nintendo this weekend, I bought one. Actually, I bought 2. because Rob, you picked me up one earlier in the week because you just
Yeah.
happened to see it and I paid you for it. But are there anything that you were looking for, like cartridge based, like Super Nintendo? Is there anything on your radar for that?
Again, I don't really read comics, so I don't know why I'm so obsessed with like collecting the comic-based stuff. But yeah, just like, any comic
Superhero?
book, like yeah,
Oh yeah, because you said you were looking for Captain America and the Avengers.
yeah.
Yeah, and then you found Batman Returns to Super Nintendo. I'm surprised you didn't
Yeah.
pick that up.
I thought about it.
But then you picked up Batman and Robin, The Adventures of Batman and Robin on Super Nintendo Mistake, which is way more expensive.
Yes, it was.
It was a really, really good weekend, guys. I saw a lot of cool stuff I don't see very often. I saw Soul Blazer. They still have a Demon's Crest at I think Game Exchange. I saw that like a month ago, but they want 100 bones for it. But it's fair price though. It actually is. They're not overcharging for it. It's around the right price. The only thing is that I'm a cheap ass collector. I have built my collection being cheap. Every once in a while, like today, I went out with $150 and I overspent because
you got a deal though.
I did. I always give myself some leeway. I know I can go a little bit over, but I don't like doing it because I don't want to have to hear you overspent. But honey, there was a good reason. It's always the but honeys. And just the idea of like when I mentioned that he asked me to go game hunting right after I went. I usually budget $20 to $50 every 2 weeks, maybe not even that, because there's sometimes I take some breaks, and just because I want to actually play the games I collect. I don't collect them for them to sit up on a shelf. I collect them to play them, and I saved up some money because I was going to show him a lot of places. And my opinion of it is, if you're saving up money to go game hunting, you're spending money on game hunting. And of course, I know, Rob, your mentality was a little bit different because you were actually looking for specific things, and you're very almost like tunnel visioned on like cartridge based stuff.
Yes.
And so, here's a offshoot question, really quick. I'm not going to go off too big of a tangent. Are you interested at all in like Sega Genesis stuff at all?
No, not really. I never had Genesis, so I don't really.
Is that something that could maybe potentially, if you're like exposed to it a little bit more, maybe because there's a lot of different games that are like kind of like gems for that system that even I haven't played, because my Genesis collection with me growing up was very, very slim.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a chance,
Mm-hmm.
But for right now, it's mostly I'm just sticking with Nintendo.
Okay. Yeah, and that's cool. There's absolutely no problems with that. But one thing, like when we were out, and you picked up what, 4? Is it 4 games?
I got a total of 6.
6? Did you get 6? Oh, it's because you got the PS2 game. You got Drakengard.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so you got 6, and I came home with 14, and a game guide, and that's a pretty decent haul for me. I don't always do that.
And you guys spent what? Right about the same.
Right about the same money.
But you had some. You guys.
The Batman game for you was like $50 by itself.
Yeah.
And that's actually, again, decently priced for it. Now, granted, okay, when I say we went game hunting, we went to a lot of retail stores. We went to Game Exchange, a Disc Replay, which is kind of like Game Exchange, but they're more like movie broad too, and they do a lot of like television series and all that stuff, Blu-rays. Game Exchange is more centered towards games. And then we went to another kind of a small store, kind of a hole in the wall place. But I love places like this because these are the places where you're going to find the people who want to get customers, and they want to treat you right, and they want to like basically add you to their clientele. And that's the same way of saying that, but.
Well, another thing, they want to build a relationship with you.
Yeah.
And they are a part of that culture. They're not doing it to make money.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing it because it's something they actually enjoy.
Yes, and unfortunately, I don't get to this place enough. And the place is called NB Gaming in Lafayette. It's off of 9th Street downtown.
Unless you include the badge, which makes it look like it says Knob Gaming.
It could, yeah. I've kind of noticed that. The dude is in there super cool. He's hooked me up with stuff before in the past, and I just want to plug his his store here on the podcast. If you're ever in the Lafayette area game hunting, please go check out his place. The other places are good too, but he is, he's a small guy. He runs his game shop, as Nate said, because he's into it. That's, he loves it. He's not doing it because he's opening up something that, this is a trend now. We're going to start selling retro games because it's starting to take on a life of itself and become an actual way of making a profit. This guy he's selling it because he enjoys it, and he has so much stuff in there. And I could literally save up a lot of money and go in there because he had some stuff in there that I want to get. I want to get some various colors of N64 controllers, Dreamcast controllers, and those all cost money because the color variants are different in rarity.
They matter, yeah.
I mean, it's just so cool to have. I see people online and they have like a full wall of N64 controllers in every color, and I get a little bit jealous.
Some of those like the transparent colors,
full color. Yeah, the
gray variations that they had, black obviously being.
Yeah.
No, today's experience was a lot of fun. I learned a lot because, like you said, I've been out of the loop for a while.
Yeah.
And seeing some of the things that I have owned and still own, and seeing the price tag on them, is almost like, damn, do I move this stuff now? Do I still just hold on to it for another 20, 30 years? You just don't know.
Well, see, you also said that, you sold a lot of stuff back in the day, as did I, and Rob did too.
Kicking myself in the ass.
Yeah, and didn't you just see how much it's going for now? And and it's not so much that maybe you want to make a bunch of money now. Maybe you could if you really needed the money. But I did the same thing because I sold my stuff, like everything. I had a very kind of a small, neat little GameCube collection, and then 3 months later, the GameCube prices went through the roof. So if I would have waited 4 months later, I would have got a better trade-in value on it.
And even now, if you wait, there are some that I'm sure you had that their value has even from then gone up.
Yes.
Even more.
Oh, yes. And in my collecting and getting that stuff back, I'm waiting on that stuff because with Rob, he bought, Batman. That's a pretty expensive game. That's not a game that I could just go out and buy every week. I do have a lot of common stuff in my collection, but doing so, I'm getting that stuff kind of out of the way, and then I can start needling away at the bigger stuff.
And that's how I did with the comics. I mean, prime example was a lot of a mixture of getting the Walking Deads, and the biggest example was the Amazing Spider-Man. It's just going to comic shops every week, going through their back catalog of stuff that was in the 2000s, created in 2005 or 6 or whatever, and picking apart the Spider-Man from 500 to 6 whatever. And then I started to get into this new trend with comics, which was not that the base cover is going to be rare, but the variants or the rarity. And that's where things shifted in my focus. We've got all the common stuff, the easy stuff to get on the way now. Of those common things, are there any rare variants?
Yeah.
And sometimes we found some really, really cool stuff and deals for that. Other times I screwed myself and overpaid on eBay. It's lessons learned, though. Now I know.
Yeah, game collecting can be the same thing as far as overpaying. Because as we saw with all the different places that we went today, every place prices it differently.
There was no base. There were fluctuations.
There's a kind of a happy medium at some places, but there's also, there can be places that charge a little too high, like a reseller. And the more that you kind of get into the hobby, and I'm sure comics is the same way, you become conscious enough of the people who are charging too much for it. And then you sort of know, you don't necessarily know that exactly what that game is worth if you don't remember or the comic, but you tend to know what's too much. Maybe not so much as how that's too much for me, but that's just way too much in general. Like $90 for a Zelda Twilight Princess on GameCube, that's out fucking outrageous. And I saw that recently, and I about flipped a fucking brick.
And I'm sitting here like, God, I should sell mine tomorrow. Holy shit!
And that's just it. Is not every place is like that. Not every person's like that. But people are definitely taking advantage of the gaming collecting, especially the retro collecting thing. That more and more people of our age that are starting to get more money, they're starting to go back and they want to get the stuff they had when they were a kid or the stuff that they grew up on.
It's really funny because there's a trend, and it happened in comics, and here we are, and it's happening in the gaming world. But comics, when in the 60s comics came out, no one gave a shit at all. okay, comics, whatever. Throw them in a basement, they get water damage, they get written in, thrown in the attic, no one cares about them. And then it was like the early 70s, people were like, those things can matter. And then in the 80s, people were like, holy shit, those things that are now 20 years old matter so much, why don't we have them? That's when what's happening now in video games was happening then.
Mm-hmm.
And the only problem is that the 80s created this monster that, as I talked about earlier, created the downfall of Marvel. Because they thought, well, now people want to collect these comics. So now we'll make so many that they're not hard to find. That wasn't their intent. Their intent was to make sure everybody could collect. But in doing so, they created overstock that is just impossible to go through. I talk to comic book store owners all the time. They're like, yeah, man, another dude came in today with a 90s collection of comics, and I had to turn them away, because what am I going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Sit on another 5,000 fucking copies of Spawn #1? Yeah, it's a #1, but they printed 25 million copies of it.
Yeah.
So it's not hard to find.
Yeah, it's what you said. I kind of find the same things happening with Nintendo. Nintendo created a boom for the video game industry in the 80s. The video game industry was in a crash with the Atari and all its competitors and all the games that were on the market that were kind of sucking. It dragged the whole industry down, and Nintendo came out and marketed it as a toy. They didn't market it as a game system, and they marketed it as a toy, something that you plug in and you have a zapper, you have the Rob the Robot, and that's how they took over, and they reinvigorated the gaming industry. And there's so many kids from that generation are now growing up to collect for it, and there's so many collectors that I've heard are saying, you know what, I love collecting for the Nintendo. I had a lot of stuff when I was a kid. I want more. I want to know what I didn't have. But at the same time, every game is starting to get expensive because so many people want it.
No, that's. I mean, you literally said the same problem that's happening with comics now too. I mean, because both industries are having this strange resurgence that they're rising again.
Yeah. And
do that.
It's something that I'm not sure how much this is going to affect comics, but I definitely want to talk about it in brief here if I can. And that's just the way that current gaming trends are going. I'm going to wager within the next 10 to 15 years, we're no longer going to have physical copies of games for consoles.
Then I'll stop playing games. I hate to say it.
It's gonna change, and I don't think I'll ever quit playing games. I mean, because I've tried Steam and I've bought stuff on Steam. I'm playing games. I don't own a physical copy of it. That does bug me a little bit. But I still love playing games. As long as they still are making consoles, I'm still going to have a console. But because of that, and it's going to happen at some point. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon. But I think retro game stores are going to be in abundance. I think there's going to be a big like surgence of these stores because people, like you said you're going to quit playing games. Well, then what are you going to do? Then you're going to start wanting to get stuff that you can get physical copies of. Yep. Maybe not to have a big collection, but you're going to go to these stores and more people are going to go, well, people want the physical copy stuff and there's only so many of them made. Granted, okay, there's millions of them made, but when you have millions of people wanting to go back and go, well, shit, I sold that game to GameStop and now I want it back because I don't want to do this digital crap. I want games that I hold in my hand that I can put in my system and play, whether it's a disc, cartridge, whatever. It's going to blow up and become an even more of an expense. And stuff's going to get more expensive, not because it's rare, but because of the demand.
Yeah, no, I agree. With comics, I know you said you don't know the parallel.
Because I know that there is a digital trend
is.
with comics, but I don't know how much that's actually... Are people actually turning away from paper? No?
Let me explain. Because here's what you have. You've got DC, who does not have their own, you don't download a DC Comics app. You download an app called Comixology, where you put your DC code, and then they have the digital copy.
Okay.
But you have to have a physical copy to get the digital copy, or you can buy just the digital copy, which is the same price. Why are you going to just short yourself, right? As to where with Marvel, if they have a digital copy available for their comic that they're selling, the price tag of the physical copy goes up $1. So you're paying $1 for your digital. You have the regular copy at cost or whatever. Okay? But like Image, Dark Horse, all those other smaller, they can't afford to go digital. They can't afford to let Walking Dead be a digital thing because it's its own world.
Mm-hmm.
Chew is its own world. Outcast is its own world. These comics are important because they don't make very many of them. So you want to make sure your hands are on them and that you have a copy because 15 years from now, 130 might not be an important Walking Dead issue. It might not be the largest, greatest, craziest issue that's ever came out for The Walking Dead. But it might be a $250 comic 10 years from now.
We'll see, and we're already seeing that with early Walking Dead numbers because me and Rob went down to Comic-Con in Indy this year, and I knew at that point that you were collecting comics. I didn't really know how much. I knew you started the podcast, and I actually looked at Walking Dead comics because at that point I started reading them, and their early issues were easily 100.
Most times they are, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think you and me looked at a few.
Oh, yeah.
And
like I said, issue one has actually dropped in value, which I'm not sure why that is. It was about a $1,600 comic. It's almost down half of that. A lot of people are barely getting $800 out of a first edition number one.
That's interesting that it would just
there's
drop.
no real reason. Maybe the reason is the people that rushed to get it when the show came out spiked the value. And
Yeah.
now the show has been 5 seasons now, getting ready to be. That the price has started to wane.
Yeah, because the show brought in a new audience to the comic.
But still, there are only 7,600 of those.
So okay. So here's a quick question, and then we can kind of go into another topic. Do you think that the comic fans or the comic collectors are having do you think they are having an effect on the resistance of going digital?
Oh, I know they are. Because you know what a comic collector loves? I love walking into a shop.
Mm-hmm.
And even if I think I said this when we first started today, game hunting at Disc Replay, I said, walking into a store and going through the same fucking boxes that I've been through 50 times in hope that somewhere someone dropped something that wasn't supposed to be in that box and I'm the guy that finds it, that's a score.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's the same thing for game hunting.
So, for me, I don't want to, everything goes digital, what's the point?
Yeah,
I
right.
can download it for fucking free. I'm not going to give them any money. I mean, I hate to say that, but honestly, I buy Walking Dead, and because I love those comics, I do not break them open and read them. Have I read some of my Walking Dead comics? Absolutely. What I like to do is download them from someone who doesn't care about their physical copy. They open it up, they scan every single page in individually, and that Zone Empire, thank you. And then from there, I can read them without fear of damaging something that holds value to me as a person and to the real world as this is valuable because of its rarity. So I'm going to jump around. I thought about this, and I'm not sure what topic you're going to go on, but...
Okay. What I wanted to add real quick is I was wondering, because I was wondering if the comic collectors were like being a big force in that resistance, and I was wondering because it was pretty much announced with Xbox One that physical copies are still going to exist, but they're pretty much going to be installation discs, and then you can throw them away because you won't need them again. That means that physical copy is useless because no one else can use it until it's off of your gamer tag or your key or whatever. And they didn't do it. Thankfully, they didn't do it, and they smartened up. But because there was a big backlash against it, and as I said, I do think that all digital is going to happen at some point. I just kind of hope that the gamers who really cared about that this time are still doing the same thing, because I understand that making physical copies of a game is costly, and there's a used game market, and they're losing money because Rob buys a game, then he sells it, and then I buy it from that person. They don't get that money. And it's the same thing that of all other industries are having that problem with movies and CDs and all that stuff. But here's my thing. As far as that goes, with the whole resale stuff. If I buy a car from, Bob Rorman or whoever, local, and then I sell that car to Rob,
Bob Rorman doesn't get the money.
He doesn't get the money, and he shouldn't.
No.
Because that's my car, and I bought it.
Yep.
So if I buy a video game, and they've already got the money from that, they got my 60 bones for that, and I sell it to Rob, they shouldn't get money for that.
No.
So, it just, I don't know.
Well, and that's like Marvel. Marvel's not calling every comic book store going, hey, you owe me money because you're selling my comics.
Yeah, you know.
No. They put your new comics on their shelves. Whatever old comes through the door is their market.
Exactly.
100%.
You know, and that's a reason why in gaming industry we have DLC, all the add-on content, the pre-order bonuses. They're trying to make more money. In fact, another with the collector's editions. Some of the collector's editions they put out don't cost them that much. Like if they just do digital content stuff, like okay, you get a new weapon, you get some in this whatever. It's stuff that's probably already unlocked or already on the disc. They just said, well, we're going to hold it back to make that a pre-order incentive, so that way they can try and make more money.
Ultimate Warrior.
And it's the same thing with Sting. And Hogan's actually going to be exclusive to PS4.
Really?
I think I heard that. But anyway, we're going to take a really quick break to sort of like chill out. We've been talking for almost like an hour. So when we get back, we are going to launch right into a new topic. And we'll be back right in a few seconds. Hey guys, this is Brando, and I want to thank you for hitting that download button and checking out Journey into Comics. Just want to let you know that we're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search Journey into Comics, like, follow, and subscribe. We have a ton of new content heading your way, such as videos, collection pictures, and a giveaway of the Walking Dead 129 variant from Comic-Con when we hit 200 likes on Facebook. Hope you check us out, and enjoy the rest of this episode.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, from our break. Coming back to this, I wanted to kind of talk about an experience I had today, and this might shock some of you, but today was the first time I have ever, in length, played on a PS4 system. Brando has one. I'm here in the gaming area of the world that I love, and we were kind of just fucking around, and I was like, let's look at the PS4, and he's showing me all the cool features, all the neat things it does, telling me about what was that game that the little dudes are in the controller.
Oh, Playroom.
Playroom,
Yeah.
which that alone, I was like, that's fucking cool. Let's try that. And we didn't.
I can't. I don't have them.
You don't. Yeah.
The camera.
We need to have the camera apparently, which I did not know. Anyways, so one thing I really, really wanted to try on the PS4, and actually that's why I'm most excited to get my PS4, is PT.
We
Now,
actually discussed that on the podcast.
we did talk about PT, right?
No, I'm not sure if it was the last. Yeah,
Maybe.
it was around Comic-Con. I
Okay.
think.
So
Was it around Comic-Con that came out? Or was that Gamescom?
It was Gamescom.
Yeah.
Gamescom.
It was. So it was last episode. Anyways, so PT is the playable teaser for Silent Hills, a new game with Del Toro and Kojima and Norman Reedus as the star of the game. Now, when I picked up the controller and started playing, I'd say he had been through the loop maybe 3 or 4 times already in the hallway.
Mm-hmm. I'd already started it, and then I turned it off because I didn't have really time to play through it. But it actually saved my progress,
Which is impressive.
Yeah, it was actually when I started going through it, and because I watched somebody play through it on Twitch, so I didn't know exactly what to do because we still had some issues trying to figure that out. But I realized that we were already at a further puzzle, so that I recognized being further along. But one thing that I really liked about this is that you really can't do a lot. The PT stands for Playable Teaser, and it is supposed to be the introduction into a reboot of the Silent Hill series. And it's done from the first-person perspective, but you cannot do anything. You can look. That's all you can do.
And press X, like what, 1 or 2 times?
I think you can press it once, and then you could zoom in on things, clicking the R3 stick.
Which helps to make the puzzles. I mean, the
Yeah.
puzzle creation is based off looking at stuff. For a first-time player of it, my perspective was, first of all, it scared me, legitimately, in several different points. It gave me some legit creep factor. If the game is anything like that playable teaser, that's the selling point for people who don't have a new system yet. Hands down. It makes me even more excited for a game that I don't know when the release date is.
Yeah.
No clue. 2016, 2017? You don't know when it is, but playing it was interesting because the premise of it is you're walking through a hallway, and the hallway has one turn, you go through a door, and you're back through the hallway again. But every time you complete a cycle, things start to change, and you interact with things, and you solve puzzles looking for different things like a picture, for example. I'm not going to spoil or go into too many details, but all the different things, and then we We did have to look and kind of figure out how to solve the final puzzle because there was a lot of fanfare and different people said different things, and we found a way that worked best for us. We got it to work, and interestingly enough, to get it to work, we had to use a headset, which made it to where sitting in the living room, I could no longer hear the sound from the TV. So my reaction of everything was almost more terrifying because I didn't have the sound to kind of cue me when shit was going on.
It was interesting because at this point I was playing and I had the headset on, and you guys could hear things when like the certain events would happen. You guys could hear it because I would see you guys both like look at me. And what I really like about this is that Silent Hill has always been about immersing you into a certain environment, immersing you into a certain state. Like it's not so much about like just scaring you with jump frights. It's about getting you to the point of that fear within your environment. And I'm pretty sure the idea of this is to play it in a dark room with a headset. It's probably going to be that. I mean, you probably enjoy it without it, but to really set the mood.
I don't know if I could do that, honestly. I mean, just the ambiance and some of the sounds, if those carry over and that's the style of this game, that you don't really know what is going to happen next, puzzles aren't explained whatsoever. This playable teaser, you're dropped into a world with no directive.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it did say that this teaser has no bearing on the final product. This was just a sort of a, hey, check this out. And it's neat because it's the first time they've ever, they've done early access stuff. They've done betas. They've done, hey, check out, or the demo's up. You guys can check it out now. But this is something that, as you said, doesn't even have a release date yet. It has no window. I'm not even sure if they even announced a window. But this is something that they wanted to put out there to grab your attention. And they didn't outright say what it was. They said it was PT.
Yep.
And I thought that was really neat. It wasn't until people completed it that the news got out that it was a new Silent Hill game, with the Kojima Del Toro team, and then Norman Reedus on board. That's kind of neat. Rob, did you get a chance to play it?
Not yet.
I'm not sure if it is still on the network.
I don't see why it wouldn't be. I would assume that...
I had to search PT, and that's the only way it came up.
Not really.
Yeah. But I would definitely, check. It's different. It just... it does get kind of monotonous walking down that same hallway, trying to figure out what the hell you're supposed to do, because there's no explanation. The guy wakes up and you're just walking, and you're just looking around going, all right, what is this? And slowly but surely you start getting fed information about what possibly could be happening.
What could be the story to Silent Hills? We don't know. I mean, like you
some
said,
sort of connection, yeah.
It says right when you beat it, at the very end, this has no bearing on the final product. However, I really hope it does.
Yeah. Oh, I hope so. Even if, I'm not so sure if I'd want the whole game to be just a first-person walk-around type thing. It's definitely immersive. Mm-hmm. It's definitely immersive when you're walking down that hallway and it's barely lit, and it's not so much like creepy music. It's the lack of that. It's you can hear your own footsteps. You hear certain noises. You're not really too sure where they're coming from. It's that creepy setting.
Another thing I thought was interesting with this is that they did something that I don't know if you ever played Fez.
I have not played Fez.
But
oh man, yeah, that's another topic.
Yeah, those kind of games. A lot of these games that are out don't do this so much, but Fez did it, and then this did it, and it's not really a super spoiler, but there comes a point where the game will glitch, and something happens with that glitch, which leads you to another part. But I felt that the glitch literally made you hyper-focus on what was coming next, which scared me even more.
When I was watching someone else play, it screamed me Kojima. Because we got, this is a little bit of a spoiler, but we got a yellow screen with a bunch of, it said, well, I'll call later.
And it was a ton of different languages.
Yeah.
Other things, I'm not sure what other things.
It just went almost like the game glitched out, yellow screen, and then it started the game over. Or it looked like started the game over, but it just started the next cycle. And then, but I saw one online where it was like error code, whatever. Almost like the game glitched out, but it was upside down. I'm like, that's Kojima.
Oh yeah,
fucking fission mailed. It's that kind of shit that he does all the time, and I think he's done so well with the Metal Gear franchise You know, he also had his hand. He also created the ZOE Snatcher Police Dots. I think he's going to do great with this.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And you have one of the, creepiest dudes in Del Toro.
Oh yeah,
being a part of it. They're going to create an environment that's maybe unlike anything we've ever seen with Silent Hill, and maybe this is not something that's going to quote unquote save the series, but something that's going to evolve the series.
I think it's going to be something. It is something that I'm looking forward to. Same as you. Now, that's the only experience you've had with the PS4. Hopefully, we can get some time, maybe, to sit down and do some more PS4 stuff if there's time allowed. But you said you're getting one soon. Hopefully.
Fingers crosses.
Okay, so overall, what did you think of the interface? And you said something about the controller. What do you feel is the best thing about that new controller?
The thing that I felt with the controller, first of all, if you didn't know this, Brandon modded his controller with Xbox One thumbsticks, which if you have the confidence within yourself and you have a PS4, do that. Because the control sticks on that just felt so nice. They were, it felt like it was meant for that system.
Mm-hmm.
Really, it did. It was an extension of the system. I think the touchpad that's like a click mouse is interesting. That's different.
See, and I'm not sure how many games are actually utilizing that.
But you never know.
I know, for example, Infamous.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember. In one of the Infamous, do you press the circle button to drain the power?
I think so.
In this one, you hold the touchpad.
Oh, that's cool.
And then I'm not sure what else it does. I think it's either that or when you're walking by something, you just hold the touchpad and instead circle button does something else or something.
One thing I also loved about it, and this is something that I cannot wait to have mine because it's cool. I'll be able to go on to my page, see what my friends have been doing, and then maybe if there's a game that they have, I can watch a trailer directly from seeing that they've played it. I thought that was so neat. You showed me your buddy was playing, what is it, Final Fantasy
14, yeah.
And you clicked on it, and then instantly you had an option to watch a trailer. 2-minute trailer, boom, right there. That's how you sell me on a game, is the trailer. Or gameplay, or any of those, different elements. So the fact that that's at your fingertips, I'm not having to go to YouTube or go to IGN or any of those things, and it's just right there. Or like you showed me one of your buddies playing Madden, right there you have the option to buy it
in the store digitally. Yeah, if you so want to. Another thing that I showed you was the ability for people to stream, and you can watch gameplay right there,
which is neat. Twitch, Ustream is all on there. The PS4 is. I think they did it right this time. I think the PlayStation brand has won the audience back that they had in PS2 era.
It didn't hurt anything that Xbox really alienated people too.
Yep.
At their launch, and you know what? And I do hope that they get an audience because I don't want to see anybody fail. But it's very obvious. There's a lot of people who pretty much said, okay, give the middle finger to those guys. We're not going to buy their system, and they're trying to get them back. They need to bring the games. They need to do what Sony did when they were behind. They need to bring the games that people want to play to your system that you can't get anywhere else. And I think I talked about that last time with Microsoft started doing it with Tomb Raider, but it's actually not a full exclusive. It's going to be a window.
It's a timed exclusive.
But they need to bring those games. They need to invest the time and money to either create. I would want them to create games because I want new IPs. I want new creations. I don't want to see them Microsoft throwing money around just to buy the Tomb Raider franchise and I love the Tomb Raider, but I just think it's more interesting and more fun when a company creates new things.
I mean, you say that, and look at the Xbox 360. It was ultra successful. A lot of that success was based off of Gears of War. That was a new title. No one had played anything like it before. It was so creative and different. Obviously, they drug the series down quite a bit from the beginning to now. But new is not a bad thing.
And you can attribute some of the PlayStation success as well to the Uncharted series.
Also true.
And then what was born after that last year with The Last of Us. I mean, because the Xbox, the PlayStation brand already had Halo and God of War coming from the previous generation, and then they both created new, unique gaming experiences Now, granted, on the Xbox side, they kind of quit after 09. They didn't. I don't recall any like brand other than Kinect stuff because they were focusing on the Kinect a little bit there because it flew off the shelves at first and then nobody wanted it.
Yeah, well, with Xbox, you had that. Obviously, you had an era that was like the golden era of the 360. BioShock was an exclusive for a while, and Assassin's Creed and all these different things were moving Microsoft in the right direction. And then they started to kind of get full of themselves. Let's create this Kinect thing. Let's make it interactive gaming. They were trying to steal from the Wii, and doing so, they really set themselves back.
Well, see, like in a way, like both companies tried to do it because of the PlayStation Move,
Yeah.
but that never really took off too well. And so they were like, "Yeah, we're going to do it," and then it's like they kind of half-assed committed to it to a point where like they had some games that used it, and then they kind of created some games for it.
Well, and then like gave updates to like Heavy Rain has moved
Heavy Rain, I
controls
think
and-
Killzone, one of
Yeah.
the Killzones has it too. But for the Kinect, there was a lot of support for it at the beginning because it sold so much. Because it was something new. Because the Move is like the Wii. We have that. But the Kinect was something entirely new, created. People wanted to get in front of their TVs, dance, act like an idiot.
Kicked their kid in the face. Have you seen that video?
I think I have. Yeah.
Or it wasn't kicked. It was this guy. He was doing like the skiing, and he flings his hand back as hard as he can because he's trying to really go, and he smacks his daughter and flies across the room.
I will take a break from this just to say I think the best invention in gaming was the Wii balance board.
Oh
For
yeah.
that one video of that girl doing the hula hoop or...
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I saw that.
Do you remember that? It's like that guy was just sitting like in the chair watching her, and that is such a sexist thing to say, but I don't care. That was hot. But as far as like Microsoft sort of PlayStation and Microsoft, and I think I mentioned this before on the podcast, they started to switch where PlayStation was trying to be like the all-in-one thing in your living room, movie player, Blu-ray player, game console. And then Microsoft was like, we're all about the games. And then they at the same time they tried to switch a little bit with the Microsoft is like, we're going to be your Netflix streaming device. We're going to be where you get your digital content for your living room. And the PlayStation's like, we need to bring games and bring gamers back to our console because we need that to survive as a business.
See, and that's the thing. That's what I want in a gaming system.
Mm-hmm.
To be a gaming system.
Exactly.
That's one reason why I like the older systems. I just flip a switch, boom,
It's
straight
on.
to the game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that's all I'm.
Now, and that's kind of funny because there was some scrutiny with the PS4 that it didn't have media playback. It doesn't play CDs. It doesn't play MP3s. It can't be like a media device for you to stream through your PC. And they say that stuff is coming because that's what people want. But their claim, what they're saying is they left that out because they were trying to make a game console first and not the all-in-one media player. And I can see where they can like want to do that because it was so clear that when they started focusing on bringing new games like the Uncharted, the Little Big Planets, the Mod Nation Racers, the Heavy Rains, the Beyond Two Souls, the Last of Us. Okay, those are games you can only get on the PlayStation. They were focusing on bringing these games to the gamers. And not every gamer likes all those, I understand that, but it sold consoles. It made them catch up to Xbox. Xbox, as you said, it had a golden age where it was like the console to get because PlayStation 3 was too expensive or it had no games.
Or they lost backwards compatibility. They lost a lot of people with backwards compatibility, which, being a fan of having the ability to play stuff that I've purchased and use a new system, was nice. In my 60 gig PS3, I love that I could put a PS2 game and have a digital memory card. I don't have to fumble around and find a memory card for shit. That was nice. And they got rid of it. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
See, and I'm actually gonna come to it and actually defend him there because that reduced the price of their console because the PlayStation 3 it wasn't just that it was reverse compatible. It had a PS2 in it, like your 60 gig and the one I used to have. It had a PS3 and it had the PS2, which was already in there. That's why it ran so hot and why a lot of them died. But that PS2 stuff that was in there also was backwards compatible with PS1. That's how you got all that. Now, eventually they were able to work a way where you can emulate the PS1 stuff off of the PS3, like as it is. Like most of the PS1 games will actually work on any PS3 that you put it in. But another reason why I'm a little okay with them doing that and getting rid of that. One is because of price. They needed to be competitive with Microsoft, and two is because that was what 2008 when they struck that out. 2007, 2008?
Yeah.
But it was about 2 years after it was out, and the PS2 was still selling like hotcakes. When they launched that console, and I think they got cocky with it, saying your PS2 was a monster. They're just going to follow us right over. It's like, well, we need to keep all those PS2 guys by making sure that the PS3 can play PS2 games, because that was one thing that they actually stumbled upon with the PS2. They didn't know it could play PS1 games when they first were making the PS2. They accidentally made that, and then they said, well, it can do it. Yeah, sure, okay. So then that's why they made the system be able to use the old controllers and the old memory cards, because it seemed like a good idea, and then it didn't cost them any more to do it. With the PS3, it did cost them more because they were because they wanted to keep that fan base, that same people that had the PS2 that were so happy about the backwards compatibility. It made the console cost $600, and people were like, "No, we're going to go with the cheaper guys."
But the cheaper guys were backwards compatible for the most part.
They actually quit doing that after a while, but yes, for the most part. In fact, X-Men Legends won't work.
Really?
Yeah, I try. I'm lazy bones sometimes. And in fact, I think I bought that before I had the game room set up, and I wanted to test it. I bought X-Men Legends on the original Xbox, and I threw it in, and it didn't work. So eventually, that was they were doing that on a title by title basis, where they were patching them. And on the PS3, it was hardware. And eventually, the PS3 started offering the PS2 emulation title by title for sale. It's not a bad way to do it because they weren't terribly expensive. Kind of like what the Wii was doing with the Virtual Console.
Well, and now Wii U has that was a great segue. Wii U now has a thing where you have an option to go to your Wii. Mm-hmm. You can play. You have to use a nunchuck and a controller and play Wii titles or play Wii downloadable content.
It looks great too.
Yeah.
Like it actually does go into the HDMI because the original Wii is in HD.
Correct. And
it looks pretty damn good. It's like I want to get an original Wii, for the game room and all that stuff. Mainly because I want a high def GameCube. Because the one I have doesn't do progressive scan, and the Wii will do progressive scan, so I kind of want that. But in the same vein, it's almost like I've been really enjoying when I do go back to that Wii channel. It looks fantastic.
Absolutely.
And then the one thing I don't like about that, though, about the Wii U, we're talking a lot about gaming this episode, but that's fine.
It happens. That's my saying, apparently.
It happens.
I've said it probably 50 fucking times today.
We need to get you a shirt that says,
it happens.
And that has replaced, no joke, you douche.
Yes. Wow, that's a super old callback. 2004.
With they really haven't jump-started the Wii U Virtual Console way as much as I would like. They did bring Earthbound over, and that was awesome. A game that's such a hard game to get a hold of in a physical copy, which I do want. I did get it, and I actually didn't have to pay for it. It was one of the rewards they offered for the Platinum this year for Club Nintendo, which I was disappointed with that. But that's a different story. I wish they would really push it. I wish they could. I think they have a few N64 games. Why doesn't it have GameCube games? Maybe because of the size, but most of the GameCube games are about 1.5 gigs.
Yeah, at the max.
And so, I kind of feel like, especially with the Super Smash Brothers attachment that they're coming out with, a lot of the Super Smash Brothers enthusiasts love having the GameCube controller. I mean, we were at a game store where they modded Brawl to play more like the Melee.
Yeah.
And they love that and even on Brawl, you can use the GameCube controller still. And there's no way, because they have all the buttons still on the gamepad or on the Pro controller. You should be able to play GameCube games on the Virtual Console, and I want to see that rolled out more.
Maybe it'll happen. Maybe they're just waiting. Licensing might have something to do with it. I mean,
you're right.
Maybe they want to bring certain titles. Maybe that's a task that's not as easy as what we assume.
Yes. It's still something that I would like to see them look at doing, and also I want to see. And this is my personal opinion, there's no reason why Super Nintendo games could not be done on the 3DS.
Absolutely.
I mean,
100%.
I'm not all for the 3D gimmick, I think it looks good on certain games. I use it every once in a while when I feel the itch. How cool would Zelda Link to the Past look in 3D?
Awesome.
I mean, it wouldn't take much because they've already done the conversions for the Excite Bike and other stuff that was on there at launch by just moving the planes around. But I think that would be amazing. And there's so many great Super Nintendo titles that you could do that conversion to. But anyway,
I mean, Super Mario Kart would be fun. I know it's essentially the same game.
Mm-hmm.
Super Mario World would be kind of cool to have a 3D option. Earthbound would be a fun one.
Super Metroid would be neat.
Super Metroid would be neat.
F-Zero.
That would be the shit.
Yeah, I think that'd be neat to have that 3D effect on it. Star Fox. And well, I guess they already have that with Star Fox 64. So I guess that really wouldn't be the best example.
You know, you were talking about people or us watching things and doing things. I'm excited because, as Brando had said earlier, we filmed some stuff for our YouTube channel today. And to touch on that really quickly, apparently we can't just do something. We might have a blooper reel that's longer than all the combined videos we'll do in the lifetime of this comic channel. We could not get through a single fucking take without laughing, having a cat meow at the number 3, or some other random shit that just happened. But however, as frustrating as that kind of was, it was really funny and a really good time. You know, sitting in and being able to kind of go through what we love.
See, and that was a simple 2-minute introduction video that we were trying to do for our new channel, and no, we could not. We were trying to have an idea of what to say, just kind of be off the cuff with it, play off each other, but we kept making each other laugh, either by flubbing up or doing something on purpose,
Or topping your Poe.
or topping my Poe. It was absolutely just insanity to the point of almost, we need to get this done. We've been sitting here for an hour and a half to do a 2-minute segment. We need to get this done.
They finally got hopefully enough to get it done.
I think we did. I haven't looked at it yet. But then, about the YouTube thing, of course, we sort of explained in that video like what we're doing. But if you haven't seen that, we created it to be like an extension of the podcast to give exclusive content, videos of him and me doing separate things, me talking about gaming, him talking about comics, or even like snippets from the podcast with a generic picture of us doing a 5-second pose or something. And it's just like you're going to be hearing something that maybe we're going to talk about on the podcast, but we try to keep the podcast at a certain length, so we can't go like we don't want to go 2 hours every episode.
No, and we're probably pretty close to that now. I don't even know.
It's actually about an hour and 20 minutes.
Okay, that's not terrible.
So, I mean, we're getting that close. There's a few more things I want to talk about. But anyway, the YouTube thing. It's not going to be something that's going to replace the podcast. It's going to be something that's done in conjunction with.
Absolutely. It's just like our Instagram account or Facebook. It's where some stuff's going to break. You're going to have me doing, maybe a tour of my comics room people have heard a lot about and maybe not seen. Only a few people have actually had the tour of the comics room, and it's not a huge place. It's about the size of your game room, but it's my dojo.
Yeah, it's your space.
And it's nothing beats going and sitting in my chair that's got the massage functionality on the back and the butt, the heat function for both, prop my feet up, grab some comics that I want to read, and just zone out. A lot of times I'll put on another podcast. Hell, I'll put on our podcast just to see what our quality is. It fluctuates. We understand that. We're not professionals. We're not even perfect. Can you believe it? We're human. Holy shit. We're not robots.
Rob's a robot.
Robbot. Rob.
Come on, you shipped with the original NES. You know it.
Yeah.
Whoa. Dude,
What happened? Nothing happened.
that was not...
That was a Topop.
That was not a top po.
Anyways, the YouTube channel is an extension of what we love and what we just want to bring to you guys. Somebody asked us today why we do this, if it's for money, and you guys know this stuff is free. We're not trying to charge you guys for anything because we love talking about this stuff. We love discussing things. By the way, speaking of things we talk about and love and discuss, we went 6 for 6 on SummerSlam. Boom, because we're kick-ass. And you called the heel turn on Nikki Bella.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome! Anyways, YouTube, search Journey into Comics. One thing I wanted to mention, if you have or have not heard of the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, both Brando and myself did take it. I donated $10.
I did 35.
Awesome. My identity was stolen, so I had to be a little thriftier.
Dude, no, I wasn't trying to boast that we gave that much. I was just saying that, we were thinking about how much to give, and that's just how much we decided to give.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter how much you give as long as you... And not necessarily exactly exclusive to this.
No.
I mean, there's a lot of other causes that need this kind of attention as well.
I saw a video. Have you seen the Mrs. Doubtfire challenge?
I've never even heard of the Mrs. Doubtfire challenge.
Smash a pie in your face and go, woo! and you donate money to the Suicide Prevention Fund, which I felt was a
That's
dark
funny.
and beautiful tie-in all at once.
Yeah, that's you know what, that's funny because, and then of course in the last podcast we had a kind of extended discussion about the Robin Williams incident and everything, and that actually does bring a smile to my face because it makes me remember that. And a gimmick like that can work. It's not so much the fact of dumping yourself with ice water is going to fix the world's problems, but when other people get a kick out of seeing you make a fool of yourself or get cold. I saw some pretty entertaining ones.
Oh yeah,
there's
some pretty funny fails. People.
The one that you sent me was it your friend that did the link for?
That was awesome. Yeah,
for Ocarina of Time.
Jay Barry. I don't know if he'll listen because I don't know if he listens to the podcast, but no, Jay Barry did an Ocarina of Time Zelda spoof and costume the whole nine. Just was rolling and didn't talk. He let the scrolls happen and all that. It was,
yeah. He had like the little Navi, and then he ended up opening a chest and it was like the bucket. And then somebody else poured him with water the last thing. I thought it was awesome, but little gimmicks like this, it's kind of crazy how stuff like that can take off and people find entertainment in it. And I think there's just so many other things, not to demean the ALS by any means, but there's a lot of things that we can do. And whatever creative thing that we can do to sort of just help everybody and get stuff going. Because, that did help. I don't know how much they've raised by now.
Oh, tons. Like 25 mil.
Last I heard he was in more than that. I don't know. I don't know what the number is, but I just think it's kind of cool that a silly gimmick like that, people will get behind it. They get entertained by it. They don't feel. A lot of people don't feel obligated to do it.
Well, and there were two important things. The Ice Bucket Challenge in itself was an awareness raiser. How many people knew what ALS was, and how many people knew that ALS is also known as Lou Gehrig's disease?
You're right.
Right? So now you've got awareness. And then it was, hey, you're going to get cold out. You better pour some damn ice water in your head and donate $10, or you better be a man and donate $100.
Yeah, I saw some really cool ones like Patrick Stewart's.
Oh, fucking awesome. Wrote the check and then had a drink.
Drink. I like that. That was kind of neat. Rob didn't see it.
Chris Jericho did 2.
He did 2 of them?
Because he got challenged like 15 times.
Did you see Paul Heyman's?
The girl.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome.
It made it look like she was going to dump it all over Paul, that she just dumped it all over herself and started rubbing herself.
Yeah. Awesome.
And then he's sitting there with like a towel over his head or something anyway. Like he got spritzed a little bit.
Yeah, no, ALS is a very real thing, and it was fun to do the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Mm-hmm.
As people saw in my video, my head is cut off.
Yeah.
I was filming by myself. And no one else was around, and it was like, I'm just going to do it, and you can't do a take 2. I'm not putting ice water on my ass twice. I'll do it once, but that's it.
It was funny. All right. Of course, I did it. And I'm glad you didn't give me 24 hours because I did not have time that week to do it, and I waited until the weekend. But a coworker of mine, he did it, and he had to do it twice because his wife messed up recording it. So he had to dry off, get another shirt on,
and do it all again.
And he had his brother-in-law who looked like he was having way too much fun with it, with a trash can full of it. And he was like, "Speed up, go faster!" And finally, he reached back, and he sort of like, "Come on!" And then as he was walking away, his wife that messed up the recording splashed more on him.
Dicks.
Oh, but it was funny. It was funny.
And this is comic book related. Henry Cavill. Did you see the Man of Steel Ice Bucket Challenge?
No.
Fucking incredible. It's it's Henry Cavill, who is Superman, in his Superman, the new updated uniform outfit for the movie, with Lois Lane, Amy Adams. She does the one bucket, he does the one bucket. And then 15 production crew guys with various sized buckets, trash cans, and barrels continuously just dump water on him every 5 seconds. And he's just sitting there. Just into it. Whatever, freeze me out. I don't give a fuck. I thought it was really neat.
Not to go on this for too much, but did you see The Undertaker's?
Yes, that you can't hardly fucking see.
It's almost like he's like a silhouette.
Yeah.
But he totally no-sold that.
Oh, yeah.
They poured it and he just went, it's cold, and walked away.
Oh, man.
But yeah, we did that for the YouTube. That was the unofficial first videos. And then today we actually recorded the very first introduction video. And basically, we want to get together and do some videos, but we're going to do some separate stuff as well. Kind of have our own little shows within the own brand, or our own brand, if I can even talk right.
Yeah, it happens.
Nah, you did it again. You did it again.
Dad, be proud. I've replaced with it happens.
It happens.
Yeah. So, you said you had some other things to chat about. I hope we haven't gone too far over our time constraints.
I don't think so. I think we're trucking along here. I'll try to make these quick. But they are gaming related, which is a very gaming heavy podcast here.
Well, we game hunted today.
But I want to kind of talk about two of these things here. The first one being that the PlayStation Network was attacked again last week on Sunday by a group called Lizard Squad. And no information was stolen. They just kept the network down. It was called a denial. It's called a denial of service attack, and essentially, what it is that they overflood the servers with fake information, and it makes it to where you cannot connect. So people were going nuts, saying that what's our money going for PlayStation? Well, these people are overreacting, I think, because they also attacked World of Warcraft, they attacked League of Legends, Steam was down, and then Xbox Live also went down Sunday as well because of it, and. It was almost I forgot about this. They actually hacked in the plane that Sony Entertainment president was on. Sony Entertainment of America's president. I can't remember exactly who it was, but his plane was en route from Texas to California, and they faked a bomb threat, and they had to divert his plane.
Really?
And essentially, this group did it just because they felt like it.
I don't see what good these attacks do. What are you proving? You can hack stuff? Good. Use it for something useful. We got all these skills. Figure out how to stop the bullshit that's happening overseas, There's no purpose. Especially if they didn't take anything.
To me, it's almost just a way of just... Is it their foolish way of having fun?
Maybe. It's almost the question of I know you guys aren't necessarily Dane Cook fans, but the old breaking and entering thing, where he was talking about someone breaking into his house and they didn't steal anything, but the whole entire fucking time you live in that house until you never live in there anymore, you're always wondering what the fuck did they take? What was the one thing they took that no one noticed?
Mm-hmm.
But it might not be anything. It is almost the same case here with this Lizard Squad.
Apparently, they've all been. A lot of them have been apprehended. Another group of activists on the internet found out information about them and turned it over to the authorities. So it's kind of weird. They got taken out by other hackers, or I'm not even sure that's the right term. But apparently, they have now shut down. They're stopping their little games, I guess. But the other thing I wanted to talk about was something that I just read about the other day, and our good friends at Capcom are suing Toei Tecmo. Did I say it right? Koei Tecmo?
I think so.
It's kind of hard to say. They Koei and Tecmo merged some time ago, and Capcom sued them over patent infringement over, what was it? Adding additional content by disc, carrying your save information over from game. Of course, Koei does the Dynasty Warrior stuff. So if you take your save data from one Dynasty Warriors to the additional like Extreme Legends, I think is what they were called. They've been doing that for years, like 10 years, and Capcom is now suing them for that. And I saw a video from Alpha Omega Sin on YouTube, and he was the way he was understanding it. It was also like this: if it's adding content, it says specifically by disc, but if it was like adding content digitally, and he makes a good point. Does that mean that Capcom is now wanting money from every game company that's ever done that?
It raises a very big question of if they patented the idea of DLC, if they legitimately patented that idea. Now, does that mean that, for example, Microsoft owes you money?
Yeah.
PlayStation owes Rob money. We owes me. The whole thing. I mean, each system. What's the line here? Where are they going? Why go after a company that's? I mean,
well,
Tecmo's not threatening.
No, Capcom is hurting, and it's hurting bad. They don't have a lot of money in the bank. A few months ago, I remember hearing like only $15 million, which is a lot of money to us. I mean, we're
for
just
a company that size. That's your
They have been around for decades. They have brought us some of the most amazing games. Mega Man Air Freshener. He got that in a loot crate.
nice.
But Mega Man, Resident Evil, Devil May Cry. That's just off the top of my head. And there's a lot more. There's a lot more.
Marvel
Street Fighter.
Capcom.
Street Fighter.
Yeah.
I mean, they brought us so many, and a company of that size is hurting so bad. I don't have any proof of this, and I'm just speculating. But is this a move to get more money? Just a move?
Could be, but of course the thought is, and you'll know this, if what they are saying is true, they got to prove it in court.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just United States system. That's the way it works. Especially if this is all on a U.S. base, right?
I don't know if it was.
If it's overseas, I don't know what they're.
Yeah, I don't know either.
It's
maybe it's not, but it really bugs me because to me they're acting like a wolf that's cornered or something. Like an animal that gets cornered is more dangerous. It's getting desperate, it needs to make money. And I don't get by trying to say that you own the patents, unless you, of course, do, for like what DLC or adding content via disc, a save transfer. That stuff that kind of stuff has been happening well before the early 2000s, in some form or manner. So they have to try to have a claim of a certain way that Koei is doing it.
Well, maybe they're just building a case. I mean,
It could be.
It could very well be that they've known for a long time people are infringing on their patents, and they were just waiting until it reached a certain dollar amount. Maybe it's a $1 billion, market or whatever. You don't know. I mean, DLC. There's so many varying things. People pay for DLC on all kinds of different games. I don't know what the number total is.
Yeah, I don't know. I just really hope that whatever judge is in charge of this case, it throws it out. I'm with Alpha with this one. I hope he knows what's going on in the gaming world, that DLC is abundant, that no one company should have like patent infringement or patents for like deals, like adding certain stuff, or with whether it be digital or via disc. To me, it's just absolutely ridiculous and a complete waste of fucking time. Get back to making some fucking games if you want to make some fucking money.
Yeah.
And
make a Mega Man. A modern.
Listen to your fucking fans for the last time.
Stop. They're giving their fans the short end of the stick is what they do.
Oh,
they
they've been doing it
announce
for
all
years.
these games, they announce all these things, and then they pull the rug out from under them because people don't care, which is completely false.
Mighty Number 9. That's all I gotta say about that.
Yep.
Mighty Number 9.
There was one other piece of gaming news that you told me earlier today, and I'm surprised you did not bring it up.
I was saving it because as I was talking about the Lizard Squad, I'm starting to lose my voice. Sorry about that. Give me a drink here for a second while I'm getting my thoughts.
Yeah, he's got to get his thoughts on this thing he was telling me about that was.
All right, so
blew my mind.
All right, I don't know if I've told you about this, Rob. It's called swatting.
I don't think so.
All right, so I saw a video from Boogie2988, And he's the guy that plays Francis, of course. And he brought this to my attention, well, to a lot of people's, of course, but I watched the video that he posted about it. Apparently, it's affecting YouTubers and people that stream games, and possibly even other like internet celebrities, like people who maybe work for Wolfpack websites or whatever. I don't know, but there is a YouTube video on YouTube where if a dude is streaming a game on Twitch, he's playing a shooter game. The police bust down his door, armed with AK-47s. They're doing an attack formation, telling him to get the fuck down. And he said something about, I think I'm getting swatted, because he heard clearing of rooms. Apparently, hackers are getting your personal information, your phone number, and your address, and making a fake call to the police, saying that there's something going on, that your house is a drug den, a murder. And the police, Boogie was saying that most of the time they just send a couple units, they knock on your door, saying they got a suspicious phone call, and make sure everything's alright. Do you mind if we take a look around? Make sure everything's alright. But if they're getting a call that someone's getting murdered, they're not going to fuck around.
No.
You know? They're going to come in force to save lives. And watching that video, you can't get too mad at the police for acting the way they do, because, as I said, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing to save lives. Now, granted, this is a giant inconvenience. It's a joke, right? A big joke. And that YouTube video that got captured, it was streaming live for the internet to see. This kid, or this young adult, probably our age, get basically forced down on the ground, cuffed. Then they start interrogating, asking questions. What's your name? Do you think this is funny? Because they ask if he has any weapons. He says he has fake weapons or whatever. He's got props. This is going to get somebody killed. Because if someone busts down your door, you're going to react defensively. You know, some people might be, too shocked or, too scared, especially with all that coming at you. You might just instantly freeze. But not everyone's like that. Some people own weapons. Some people will defend their home, especially if you live in a neighborhood that is susceptible to that, to kind of entering into your house.
Yeah, it's not good. It's terrifying. Why do people gotta fuck with people? It's just getting to a point of stupidity. People are just trying new stupid shit all the time to fuck up other people, and it's just like let the world be.
A few episodes ago, we shared the interesting aspects of the internet and how internet can restore your faith in humanity. So to use that that namesake. This alone, stuff like shit like this takes it away. This is ridiculous. Why are we doing this shit? Where is the humor in this? That kid could have been killed. He could have made one wrong move
and been shot.
And because they could have taken it as an aggressive manner. Because they're trained to react a certain way. Now, in addition to this, I just heard today that a 15-year-old kid was convicted of domestic terrorism for this. And was sentenced to 25 to life in a federal prison.
At 15. That's insanity.
This shit's got to stop. Okay. Like, take, for example, Boogie did say, and he's got almost 2 million subscribers on YouTube now. He's called his police department and let them know this may happen to me. He's got his own deal set up with them, and they're aware. And me being a game guy, I wanted to start streaming. This makes me question if I want to even start doing that. I don't want to risk my life. I don't want to risk my family's life for doing something that I just love to doing. I want to share with other people.
I feel like we need to create some kind of logo, emblem, or something that's like a no swatting thing, like a Gamers Against Swatting group or something, and really start to spread the word, because not a lot of people are going to know about it, even if we were talking about it on the podcast today. Awareness is important. And a lot of people are doing their job to get it out there and let people know about this and this danger. And I hope that as word starts to spread about this, that the departments across the country start educating their police officers on what this is
and hopefully they can start identifying what the false flags, for these calls are, and hopefully they don't go and respond in such a way that could result in someone getting hurt or possibly worse. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had. We talked about quite a bit.
We did a lot of things today. I'm exasperated.
Oh yeah, me too. I want to thank Rob for coming on and chilling out.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here, Rob.
No problem.
He's thinking
maybe again sometime.
Yeah, maybe again sometime. Hell yeah, maybe you can come over and just hang out with me while we're doing the Skype thing.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Here
Because
you
we can
guys
just-
across the world.
We can just share the microphone like we're all doing now. But please guys, go check us out on YouTube. Go and on Facebook. We're almost to 200 likes, and that giveaway is gonna happen still when we hit the 200 likes for that variant for that
And
SDCC.
I only got one to give away.
Oh yeah, hell no, he's keeping the other one.
Yep, I will not give any more.
But hell, fatality.
Excellent. All right. Well, I'm Nate,
I'm Brando, buddy.
and this was Journey into Comics episode 11. Thanks, guys, for listening.
Brando, buddy. What the fuck did I say, Brando, buddy?
No idea.
I'm tired. Bye, buddy. Bye, Rob. Hey, let's all give our waivers.
Waivers.